underneath your box, put it on the corner of your desk. And then from this point in time, you're just going to, you're going to just reach in the box and take out the pieces that we need. Today we're only going to be using a few pieces, so you won't need to dump a lot of stuff out. Again, that just makes a lot of noise. And then you should have a handout. Anyone not get a handout? And then a pencil, so you'll need space to write. We won't have a lot of writing to do today. Most of it will be at the end. Other days you'll be writing as you go. But today we're just kind of exploring them a little bit more. Okay, so for the first one that we're going to look at today, you can set your paper aside. I want you to reach in your box and just grab one of the small green pieces. One of the small green ones. With the algebra blocks, we're going to give them names. We're going to give them algebra names so that when I refer to a piece, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. And all of our pieces will be named based on the biggest face on the piece. So looking at that green shape, what do you notice about that green shape?
Cube.
Okay, I heard square and I heard cube. If you look at one face, what shape are you looking at?
A square.
A square. Are all those squares the same?
Yeah.
So that makes it a what?
Cube.
A cube. So if we're looking at the largest one, in this case, they're all the same, correct?
Yeah.
Do we know how big that green cube is?
Square
inch. Does it look like a square inch?
Square centimeter.
Maybe closer to a centimeter. And it is very, very close to a centimeter. It's not quite exact. But this is going to be our unit of 1. So everything else that we measure is going to be based on this green cube. So whenever I say 1, we're talking about the green. So take out of your bucket and put on your desk 5 ones. Show me what 5 ones will look like. Okay, we're going to use those to help name our other pieces. So I'm going to keep a tally up here of the ones that we've named and what we've decided to name them. And the reason we're naming this 1 is because in algebra, this is defined as a 1 by 1 square. Like you said, it's the same on each side, and we're going to call that 1 unit. So the next piece I want you to grab out of your box is the long, skinny yellow piece. No, you don't have to draw yet. I'll leave this up here, and you can use it later to help fill in your paper. All right, now I want you to figure out where the biggest face of the yellow one is, and then what is the area of that face. So you can work with your group to find the biggest face on the yellow piece that you have in front of you, and what is the area of that yellow piece. Talk to your group about that.
3.14.
You've heard that a couple times.
3.14. See?
All right. Travis, where was the biggest face at? Good. Definitely not the top part there, right, if we stand it like that? But all the other 4 are equal to each other. So, did you use the green cube to measure it?
3.
Okay, tell me how, and I'm going to draw the picture of it up here. Tell me how wide was your yellow piece? How many units wide was it?
1.
3? Let's look this way first. How wide was it? Just 1. So I'm going to label that on my picture. And then as I walked around, I heard a little bit of debate about how long it was. Kobe, what did you say?
3.14.
Kobe thought it was 3.14, because that's a number we've seen a lot. Caleb, what did you say?
3.33 with a line over the 3s.
About a 3. So you're thinking it's about a 3 1/3?
Yeah,
Would everyone agree that it's a little bit more than 3,
Yeah.
but not quite 4?
Yes.
So do we know exactly how long it is?
No.
So in math, we call that an unknown. We have an unknown. What do we sometimes do in math? We give it a variable. And so we're going to label that distance, because we don't know how long it is, we're going to label it X. So if I'm talking about the area of this yellow rectangle that I've drawn up here, how do we find the area of a rectangle, Braden?
We use length of one side multiplied by the height.
Okay, so if we have 1 times X, what will that area be? What's 1 times anything?
1 or whatever.
Whatever the other thing is, right? So if it's 1 times X, it equals
X.
X. So we're going to the yellow piece as our first variable, x. Because we don't know how long it is, and it's purposely made that way. It's purposely not supposed to be 3 or not supposed to be 4. It's supposed to be some unknown distance in between them. So show me what 3 x's would look like. 3 x's in your hand.
Wouldn't that be
3 x's. If one of those is an x, what would 3 x's look like? If one of those is an x, what would 3 x's look like? All right, very good. Leave those 3 x's on your desk. We're going to need them a little bit later. Okay, now find this piece. Long, yeah, dark orange. Do the same thing. Find the largest space and figure out its area. How long is it? How wide is it? And what's the area? You can use the green and you can use the yellow for your comparison.
4.5.
exactly
4.16.
Just measure with your green cubes.
I did. Caleb, look.
He is over 4, isn't it?
4.5.
4.
All right. Kiera, how wide was that long orange piece? 1 unit wide. We'll label that in the picture. And Caleb, how long was it?
About 4.5.
So again, could we find it exactly?
No.
Nope, it was a little bit more than 4, but not quite 5. And again, that's done intentionally. This is going to become our second unknown. And Tanner, what do we do when we have an unknown? Could we name it with a variable? The variable represents an unknown, something that we don't know yet. And since we've already used the variable x, we probably better use a different variable, because this is a different length, isn't it? All right, so this time we're going to label it y. So Braden, help me out. If I want to find the area of this space,
You just find y.
1 times
Y.
y, which would be
Y.
y. Okay, so in front of you, you should have 5 1s, 3 x's, and I want you to put 2 y's in front of you. You should have 5 1s. Double check this exactly what you have in front of you. 3 x's. Get the other ones back if you haven't forgot. And 2 y's.
Why did we skip 4? We started following the green until we skipped 4.
You done?
All right. Nope, we're not done. Next piece. Find this one.
Big block.
Yellow square shape. To name this shape, we're again going to look for the largest space, and we're going to measure it using the other pieces. Find the largest space of that shape, and then find its length and width based on the 3 that we've already named. So you can use the green, the yellow, or the orange. Is it exact?
It's hanging over.
Uh-oh. Okay, how do you find